All right. What's going on, everyone? Great talk tonight. We're going to talk about the Epstein files. We're going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein and his operations as not only a predator, but potentially a Mossad puppet for Israel. We're going to talk about his connections to the elites and the global oligarchs. And what was his purpose? How does an uneducated man end up teaching mathematics and physics at a university? How does a convicted sex offender and financier like Epstein build a powerful multi-billion-dollar network? We're going to explore all of this tonight and more, all right, as we dig deep into Jeffrey Epstein. So welcome to the Forbidden Knowledge Podcast. I'm Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. It's going to be an amazing, amazing journey tonight. Make sure you click the like button and please make sure that you share this video, okay? I saw somebody ask about Turkey. I'll drop the link to the Turkey tour for you here in the live chat shortly. But tonight is going to be one of those amazing podcasts, you know, that I come across every now and then, some good, tantalizing information that I think everyone has some ideas about, but let's just get some clarification. Let's talk about it. Let's sort it all out, all right? I saw this great meme the other day on my feed. Check this out.
The Epstein case.
Turns out there is no client list, like, at all.
Seriously, they sure fooled me. Shapiro-Stein, take it away.
At Epstein Island, it turns out all of the people that were trafficked here just didn't exist. After all, the dude isn't even alive to tell us anymore. Jenny, back to you.
We're here outside of that dude's wife's prison holding the first person ever to be convicted of trafficking to nobody.
I'm here with Ghislaine, serving 20 years for having imaginary friends, thousands of Epstein victims, but zero clients. How are you?
I 100% deserve this.
True. Where's the client list?
Israel is our greatest ally. What do you think of the verdict? How about ask how much I got paid? No other comments. What do you think of this? Sometimes you have to just let that long arm of the law all the way into the back of your colon and just let it marinate, you know? What the heck?
Sounds like we could use another Luigi, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. It's almost like the so-called Semites run the court systems and media or something.
Shut it down. My grandparents were in the pizza cost. You know that. How many times do I have to tell you? Now, back to the goy slop.
Sorry, Shapiro-Stein, won't happen again. In other news, we're down the street from where your grandparents got pizza costed. Jackie goes live from inside Elephantis' hub.
We're here at Comet Pizza. Did you hear about the 6 million pizzas?
I heard they only did 271,000. But anyways, you want to see my kill room?
It's true. Anyone can search the archive for CYM Corporation's files.
Breaking news about the Epstein case.
Turns out there is no client list, like, at all.
Listen, you gotta love AI. Oh, I love this. This is incredible. Sometimes you just gotta laugh, and it's so skillfully put together. Whoever scripted it did an amazing job prompting that to get around all of the idiosyncrasies and all of the potential traps that will get your stuff shut down. I love it. I just absolutely love it. But it's too funny. I mean, obviously, you know that the thumbnail for this video is this right here. All right. It's just, oh man, sometimes, you know, the internet just never lets you down sometimes. You know, it just never lets you down. But we're going to get into it tonight. Make sure y'all click that like button. Make sure you share the video. I can't stop laughing. I'm sorry. Please share the video. Subscribe to the channel. This is crazy. This is wild. One more before I get into it. I saw a great tweet from Elon Musk. I'm not a big Elon Musk fan, but this tweet had me dying. Wow, I can't believe Epstein killed himself before realizing it was all a hoax. Yo, this is wild. This one ain't never gonna go away. It's too damn funny. So Epstein, this guy, convicted sex offender, right? He starts off as in some weird way, he starts off as a teacher in a university, a mathematics and quantum physics teacher with no education, no formal education. So clearly the guy has a little something going on upstairs. He's clearly a genius, or been trained by somebody. Now they're saying he doesn't have this, that he didn't have this, this college diploma. He didn't have a degree, but that doesn't mean that the source that trained him didn't train him on a degree level, or that he got a degree somewhere else, like across the seas, where he probably got trained, when he was probably trained by Mossad. Okay. And we'll get into why I believe that shortly. So this guy's been a predator for a very, very long time. I don't even know how people would even, the guy, I don't judge people's looks, but the guy's not even that good looking of a guy. He looks like an absolute creep, so how this guy was able to manipulate and get to the level where he can get these girls, that's a whole nother level of manipulation. He must be a master at manipulating, an absolute master. He obviously had people helping him as well, but besides Ghislaine Maxwell, she's one, but she's only one of probably a network of people that helped him obtain all these girls. This had to be a much wider, more broad network that no one's talking about. Who was the pipeline? Who were the people feeding the pipeline of these girls coming into his system of sex trafficking? Those are the names that we should be really seeking and looking for. We know that, okay, yeah, men and women both showed up and unfortunately committed pedophilia. But at the same time, how in the world did this guy amass such a huge amount of sex trafficking? You can't do that alone. There are people, high-end, very, very important people that were getting paid to send these girls over, that were helping him, get these girls. So, man, it's just a wild story. It's a real wild story that, this guy starts off as a teacher, but that was his connection into getting into some of the elites and the oligarchs and the people with money. So in my opinion, it wasn't a mistake that he ended up picking that school that he was at. It wasn't a mistake. He picked that location because that was a location that he knew he was then going to be able to finesse these other oligarchs, okay? He came from a working class Jewish family. His father worked for New York City's Parks Department. He attended Lafayette High School and briefly attended Cooper Union at New York University, but never earned a college degree. Then he disappears after that. He disappears, okay? In the mid-1970s, Epstein taught math and physics at an elite school named Dalton School in Manhattan, despite never having any degree whatsoever. He was a college dropout, matter of fact. But he picked Dalton specifically because he knew Dalton would connect him to the people that he needed to get in touch with to start this whole process, this multi-billion-dollar sex trafficking ring, which wasn't just about sex trafficking. That's just the icing on the cake. There's a reason behind the sex trafficking, okay? Dalton was run at the time by Donald Barr, the father of future U.S. Attorney, the future U.S. Attorney General, William Barr. So the guy that ran this college was a future Attorney General named William Barr. He was already connecting himself to people in positions or people who would be in positions of power, almost as if he knew this guy would end up being an Attorney General because he had some type of foresight, proving again that a lot of these politicians are selected, not elected. He put himself in a situation, in a position, or maybe not specifically him, maybe the intelligence services that he really worked for put him in a position. He's a plant. This guy, Epstein, was nothing more than a plant, him and his entire team. Through connections at Dalton, Epstein was introduced to executives at Bear Stearns, a huge Wall Street firm, all right? He joined Bear Stearns in the late 1970s and quickly climbed the ranks, allegedly working in options trading and financial consulting for very wealthy clients. This was the end. So he got in one place, connected him to the other place, and now he has the direct phone numbers of millionaires and billionaires in his phone, or in his, back then it wasn't a phone, back then it was his little phone book, right? So you can start calling these people with the contact cards and getting them on the phone and selling them shares and options, calls, and so forth and so on. But then again, having at the same time being able to begin the manipulation process and the grooming process. He was grooming elites and oligarchs, and also grooming young children at the same time. He built this empire simultaneously from the ground up. It takes time. You don't, yeah, thank you, Lady MG, Rolodex. I couldn't remember the name Rolodex file. I remember with the old Rolodex. He had them in his Rolodex file. He started grooming the girls and then grooming the oligarchs and the millionaires and the billionaires all at the same time. He started this process simultaneously. This is a very elite plan that was thought through so thoroughly. It had to have been planned for years in advance. It wasn't just something he just woke up and said, you know what, this is what I think what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and do this. This is something that was he trained for. This is something that he was developed into doing. In other words, he had a group behind him. And then he had the right connections being laid out right before him. At Bear Stearns, Epstein's founded his own financial firm. So he said, hey guys, I know y'all are one of the biggest in the world, but I'm doing so good here. It was almost like he couldn't lose. It was almost like his clients just couldn't lose. He was making them so much money. It was almost as if he had the knowledge of all the calls and puts. It was almost as if he had insider information. And he was making these people so much freaking money that they would do then whatever he asked. Then he goes to Bear Stearns, you know, guys, I'm probably responsible for over a third of your business. So I'd like to go ahead and start my own firm underneath your firm now. So he starts his own firm at Bear Stearns. It's called J. Epstein & Co. Reportedly managing assets only for billionaires. He only managed billionaires' assets. The clients that he had that were millionaires, you guys just stay with Bear Stearns. I'm only going to deal with the billionaires. I need to be in the Billy Club. And that's what he did. And his client list for the billionaires that he managed, even at Bear Stearns, disappeared. Why did that disappear? Why did the billionaire list disappear? Because you probably could have extrapolated who was involved in this sex trafficking and who were involved in pedophilia through Epstein, and who was also involved in paying him off through the billionaires list from his Rolodex. But all of that just seems to have vanished. It's all gone. Even the client list, the clients, not the people on the plane, forget the plane, the client list is even missing. Well, it's not really missing, if you know what I mean. Somebody has it. It's probably underneath a mountain somewhere behind 100 tons of steel with a sophisticated lock, right? It's inside of a safe, a military safe. That's where it's at. So they really planned this way in advance. This isn't anything that, somebody just kind of, develops into, or this is so strategic. Every move he made was pre-thought years in advance. He was helped out. Even at Bear Stearns, he had assistance. Someone was feeding him the calls and puts to make his millionaires into billionaires and make them richer and richer, so he can break off and create his own client list. And he created his own agency, which he did. Wild. And his wealth was so crazy, it was disproportionate to the amount of sales or the amount of closings he was actually getting. In other words, what he was raising for his clients, his commissions didn't match his lifestyle. So that told you right there and then he was already getting the payoffs. So he was already involved at that moment in blackmail, hidden intelligence work for Mossad, and also illegal financial schemes. Those were the three things that he was doing that was helping him become a multi-billionaire. A man with no degree that literally then began to own an island and a multi-billion-dollar firm and manage billions of dollars of clients' money out of thin air. So you got to excuse me a little bit. I had an asthma attack a couple of days ago. It's just clearing up. So this man is connected in many ways, not just one. He's connected to, and I believe it's Mossad, okay, Israeli secret intelligence, which we'll go into that in a minute. He's connected to these oligarchs who he then blackmailed and paid off, and he's also connected to a team of people, a cell in America that was not only involved in 9/11, but was also involved in helping to groom these young children and sweep them away from their parents and get them into this trafficking ring. Sophisticated planning. To think that it was just one man and a lady, that's the illusion they want to paint to everybody. They want the illusion, excuse me, they want the illusion to everybody that it was just this one guy, this one middle-aged guy and this lady just going around doing this. And they want the illusion for you to be that it was just for the purpose of blackmail to get people to send money to him and her, and they can just live a good lifestyle because, hey, nobody wants to get this out there. So now, we can live a good lifestyle and we can just have them sending us money. No. That's the illusion. That's what they want you to think. Or now they don't even want you to think that, because now, according to the reports, even that's not real. Supposedly, according to the DOJ, they're saying that, no, there wasn't even a list, and we don't even know what this Epstein guy was up to. Meanwhile, he was locked up and then supposedly unalived himself. And they don't even know why he did that now. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And it just kills me when people who watch the news look at this and go, wow, really? That's what happened? No, man. They're banking on us being stupid and ignorant and dumb and having a low IQ. At the end of the day, that is not even close to what happened. There's no clear trail on how this man amassed hundreds of millions and even billions of dollars, how he bought mansions and how he bought an entire island. I don't know if you ever looked into buying an island just for fun's sake, or maybe you have the money to do it. But when you buy an island, there's no infrastructure. That means there's no running water, there's no electricity, there's nothing. So buying an island is the easy part. Paying for the infrastructure and the construction and everything else, that's the part that's going to cost you. So we're talking about a man that had a massive amount of money. And who was one island hop across from his island? Biden had his own island out there as well. And Biden had a submarine. So you can only hypothesize where that submarine would end up once it went for a deep dive. Did it come up on Epstein's island? I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing here. Okay? I'm just hypothesizing. But this is crazy stuff. Now, when we look into some of the things that Epstein was doing, it's going to make you scratch your head. I mean, this guy goes from Wall Street to an intelligence asset. That's not planned. Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't just an accomplice. She was connected to powerful intelligence circles, and her father was Robert Maxwell, who's linked directly to who? Mossad. Epstein's operation was nothing more than a honeypot for Mossad. It was a honeypot. What does that mean? It means that his operation was in a secret intelligence agency run by the Israeli government to plant him here and build this entire network of billionaires in the highest elite levels of government and politics, to then lure them into these really bad situations with young women, girls, catch them all on video, and then utilize that footage as a backup, getting sent straight back to Mossad, as a backup to get America to fall in line with whatever the hell Israel wants us to do. And that's exactly what's still going on today. Hawaii ain't repaired. North Carolina's not repaired. Texas could forget about any kind of assistance and repair. California could forget about it. Not from the government. Private developers will go kick everybody out and build something brand new and sell that. But for the people to get their stuff back and their money and their homes back, and for our bridges in America to be fixed and everything else, no, that money goes to Israel. All of it. Billions and billions and billions of dollars going straight to Israel. Why? Why does that continue to happen? Why is whatever Israel says to do, America does it? No matter what president's in office. I don't give a damn about no Republican or no damn Democrat. It doesn't matter. Like I always tell you, there is no such thing as a Democrat or Republican. The only thing that does exist is a group of elite oligarchs that torture men, women, and children worldwide. That exists, my friends. Republican and Democrat, that's an illusion. It doesn't exist. For the people that are out here fighting over their red and blue, you look like a jackass too. It doesn't exist. You've been pimped. You've been mind pimped. You've been hoodwinked. You've been led astray, as Malcolm X used to say. Everybody's jumping on Trump because of the ICE and the deportations. Obama did the same thing on a higher level. It just he did it more cool and slick and seamless, so you couldn't detect how bad it was. He had a much smoother operation. Trump is more in your face. Bam, snatch him off the street, snatch the baby out the womb. Obama did it more slick and sneaky. They both did the same thing. Obama's got he's probably the number one war hero in the world right now that's still alive. He's killed more babies than anybody on this planet. Obama. He's not a war hero, I'm sorry, a war criminal, not a war hero, a war criminal. He's a war criminal. He's killed more people than any person on this planet that's alive at this exact moment. He killed black people. He killed black people in Sudan. He went to Sudan and moved 250,000 men, women, and children off their own land by U.S. military, him and Hillary Clinton, in a secret oil war using our tax dollars. Displaced 250,000 people into the desert, and they started dying and starving to death out there. Then he, on their land, because they had resources, put private corporations, which they profited from greatly, and then renamed the place South Sudan. That's why South Sudan is a new country. It's stolen land by Obama and Hillary Clinton in a private oil war that you never knew about. This is why Obama's banned from going to certain countries right now. If he shows up in certain countries in Africa, they're going to put his ass straight in prison. He's a war criminal. Now back to what I was saying. I got a little diverted there. Now, so this guy, Epstein, right? He's got this island, Little St. James. It wasn't just a getaway. It was obviously the place where it was wired for complete surveillance. From the time you got off of your boat or the time your helicopter landed on the island, you were under 100% complete surveillance. And I'm pretty sure the helicopter and the plane were also videotaping you on the inside and audio taping you on the inside of the flying machine. Why? Because they want to get illicit conversations that might not even have anything to do with pedophilia. Just insider information, top secret information, anything that they can use to keep the U.S. government in a chokehold. Anything they can use. Anything they can use to keep the tech industry in a chokehold, which affects the U.S. government, like Bill Gates. Anything. And that's what they were doing. And Epstein was just the tip of the spear. Because as it's been quoted many times by these people in Israel, the rabbis and such, that you hear, you can just pull up these videos on YouTube and you can pull them up on even on Instagram now, when they're talking about taking over America, that they've got their cells here. America has sleeper cells in it. And these sleeper cells are waiting to be reawakened at any moment. They've already woke them up a couple times. One of them was 9/11. And they're waiting to be reawakened even again. Let me see if I can find one of these videos. I wanted to show you guys something that was very interesting. Hopefully I got it up here. Let me see if I was able to get it up here. And I have a couple of clips I want to show y'all tonight. This information needs to get out here, man. This is just ridiculous what's going on. And the fact that we keep allowing this kind of activity to happen on our watch. The people are the government, not the government. The government are the employees of the people. The people are literally the government, but we keep getting fooled into thinking that the government is separate from us. No, we're the government. They work for us. They're public servants. And we keep allowing them to dominate us at every turn. I can't seem to find this one clip I got right now, but boy, if I had that clip, this is hilarious. At every turn, we continue to keep allowing them to dominate us. But I have another clip that I want to play real quick, because this one is very important and relevant to what's going on here with this talk tonight.
That Jeffrey Epstein was running a sex trafficking ring in the early 2000s that included underage girls as young as 14 years old.
Donald Trump in 2002 said of Epstein, he's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
He routinely spoke fawningly of Jeffrey. He admired Epstein's lifestyle.
Your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of it.
Yeah. She's actually always been very voluptuous.
What does Tiffany have of Marlon's?
She's got Marlon's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet.
You were playing tennis and you came off the court. Quote, look at that piece of I would love some of that. It so happened that Trump was referring to Cohen's then 15-year-old daughter, Samantha.
I had the impression that he was interested in younger women and that, you know, women would age out for him.
Miss Teen Universe? Yeah, that's like giving Jeffrey Dahmer a cooking show.
I'll go backstage before a show, and everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. Yeah. I standing there with no...
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
A lawsuit against the presumptive GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
Prince Andrew answering questions for the first time about his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I don't know Prince Andrew, but it's a tough story.
Trump has been photographed with Prince Andrew as far back as the year 2000.
Ghislaine Maxwell is accused of helping Epstein sexually abuse underage girls.
I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
You know about sexual predators and things like that. Right. I mean,
you are one.
All right, I was going to say that.
Interesting. That doesn't mean it doesn't prove anything, obviously. But for me, what it proves is there's some lies going on. And why did I show this? Because I want to explain something that I talked about in the previous podcast. This whole Israel versus Palestine versus Iran farce of a psychopathic, sociopathic war that's going on. America got lured into it. And why did America get lured into it? America got lured into it because Israel wanted America to get lured into it. It didn't matter if Trump was in office, or it didn't matter if Biden, it didn't matter who was president. This was a move that was pre-planned from years ago and was going to already happen. And why, after Trump campaigning against getting involved in any wars in the Middle East, have to get involved on the level that he did? And I'll explain that level and how it was done very slick. I got to give him that for it. But how did he end up getting pulled in? Well, the blackmail from these files, from these Epstein files. It doesn't mean that he committed pedophilia, but he could have also spoke out of turn while having a few drinks and said something that shouldn't be repeated. Or maybe it could have been that it was the pedophilia. But in my opinion, Mossad had the Epstein files. Mossad has the Epstein book. Mossad has the Epstein videos. They have everything. And a phone call was made that says, no, you're going to participate in this, whether you like it or not, or this information is going to come out, or we'll activate our sleeper cells. And something in America will, poof, magically disappear like the Twin Towers did. A lot of pressure there. So he acquiesced and gave in. But they did it in a very slick way. They pre-orchestrated the theater. So war is a theater. So they pre-orchestrated the strike against Iran by notifying Iran that, hey, we're going to strike this specific target. Here are the coordinates. Clear everybody out of there. But we don't really want a real war. So Iran said, okay, thank you for letting us know. We'll play the war game. So we'll get out of here. So they cleared out, and then we dropped a bomb on nothing. But now we can get on TV and say, hey, we retaliated. We did this. We're supporting Israel. Nothing real true was targeted. It was the big hole in the ground with nothing underneath it. The uranium and enriched uranium that they had and everything else moved to a totally different facility, completely safe, pre-planned. Then Iran contacts Qatar and lets Qatar know that they're going to make a strike back, a base out in Qatar. So they contact Qatar base and say, hey, okay, guys, you guys, the theater's on. Act 1 is done. Now we got to go to Act 2, Scene 4. Go ahead and clear out the Qatar military base because we got to drop a couple of these hypersonics on y'all to make it look to our people like we're in the mix. Like we retaliated. We're playing the game here. So the military base in Qatar clears all the U.S. troops out. Nobody's around. It's like a dead zone. Nobody's there. They drop a couple of hypersonics on it. Boom, boom. It's all clean and clear. Nobody gets hurt. It's all a theater. It's a game. It's a freaking game using multi-million-dollar weapons and placing civilians in danger. But we're just collateral damage. We're just chattel to them. Trump issues a cease order. Israel laughs at him and continues to bombard Palestine anyway. America can't stop Israel from destroying and committing genocide against Palestine because the second that they jump in to try to stop Israel from committing genocide against Palestine, Israel will release the information, the blackmail documents, the videos, the audio files, or maybe a combination. They'll open up a sleeper cell in America and destroy something, and on top of that, go ahead and release the tapes. So what do? Their hands are tied because nobody in their group wants to go to prison. Nobody in their group wants to take those charges and destroy their careers and their family and their legacy and everything else. So they all give in. Israel has America bent over, and I'm talking bent over. And there's what's that stuff? That Diddy oil? They got no Diddy oil. Hell, they don't even have spit. They just going in raw. They going in raw. No spit. No baby oil, no Astroglide. They just bent over America and they're just roughing it on us. Straight mushroom tip. And there's nothing we can do. Nothing. Because they got the tapes. That's why. They got the damn tapes. They have all the audio, all the video, all the proof, all the evidence, and they got the sleeper cells too. They have those sleeper cells. You better believe they got the sleeper cells. Anytime, no, this ain't pre-recorded, Para. Anytime you see a case that you can pull up in the court system like this and nobody pays attention to it, 13-year-old girl claims rape, we got a problem. When that can be easily swept underneath the rug, we have a problem in this country. We have a severe pedophilia problem in this country. It's severe. It's a pandemic. It's an absolute pandemic. These people have all of the information, all the dirt. They've got all the dirt because Epstein was just one of dozens of plants in America. There are dozens of plants here in America that have dirt on these politicians and dirt on people in the military, high-level generals. They have dirt on the multi-billionaires that run the tech and everything else. You just haven't heard their names yet. These people were a little bit more slick than Epstein. Epstein liked the limelight. I want to be in the light. I want to be on TV. I want to be out in all the biggest parties and everything else. He didn't have to do that. He could have did all that from phone calls, like when he was a stockbroker. He could have done that from phone calls. He didn't have to be out in the limelight, him and Ghislaine. They just love being in the limelight. They love being in front of everybody. They love the power that they felt when they walked in the room. But these other people that are part of his same cell, they're still in operation today. They're still moving little girls and little boys around today. They're still sex trafficking these kids today to the highest level elites and oligarchs around the world. Do you think they stopped because Epstein unalived himself? Do you really think they stopped? Do you really think this stopped any kind of show? The show must go on for these people. So they unalived him. He unalived himself by accident on purpose. And the other lady, Sheep and Hush, she wants to testify to the fact that there is an Epstein list, and I have the names. They blocked that immediately. The judge blocked that immediately. That just happened last week. They blocked that immediately. She couldn't even get done her attorney couldn't get done putting the doggone motion in before that got blocked. It got blocked before he finished typing the motion. Those two were a very small part of a big weapon that's being used against politicians and billionaires in America and other parts of the world. It's not just America. Clearly the UK and many other places in the world as well. They've got these people committing some of the most egregious acts against children, against other people, and they have intelligence that shows that they're actual war criminals. They probably have information like classified documents and everything else. And they got us bent over. They're not even they won't even spit on it. They just go in raw. Bam! You do what we tell you to do. You say what we tell you to say. You saw Cruz, that senator. You saw him get pimped on that interview he was in with Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson laid him out. But guess what? This guy is still going to go gung-ho because he has to. They clearly have something on him as well. Clearly they got something on this guy. He's too gung-ho. He's just too gung-ho, man. He got all the mushroom tip going up in him. All of it. Raw. Dry. This is what's going on out here. This is exactly what's going on. This guy is controlled. This Epstein situation controlled and manipulated, well, the content, the video content, controlled and manipulated the current situation that happened with Iraq, Iran, Israel, Palestine. It controlled, and I do say Iraq because I'm talking about 9/11. Those Israelis there were 4 Israeli men that climbed up on top of a roof before the first plane struck the tower. They were driving in a moving van up to this building. They climbed up to the top of a roof where they were witnessed by several people, including an older lady who was on the news. And they stood there with cameras waiting for the impact of the first plane. And when the first plane hit, they jumped and cheered. They jumped for joy and cheered. They were so happy. They were screaming, "Success, we did it." Those same 4 men got in the car. I think it was 5 men, actually. They got back in the van and drove away after they realized they were being looked at. They got pulled over by a police officer. Checked the ID, ended up being all Israeli, and said, "Hey, we're on your side. We're from Israel. We just decided to come here and get a little part-time job with a moving company." Ends up they didn't have a job with the moving company or anything else, but they were released. They were never investigated again. Why? Well, you know why. Just like we know why they found the passport of the supposed terrorists unburned, untorched, in great condition. If a passport can survive that kind of destruction, that means everything built, any building built in the world needs to be built out of the same passport material because it's indestructible. Meanwhile, on the news, a few years later, they discovered that 2 of the people that were supposedly unalived on the plane that crashed into the towers were actually alive. And they tried to tell the media that the whole thing was a setup. They had nothing to do with it. This is the level that these people go to dominate and control America. We know that Silverstein is the one who put the insurance on the towers just days before the attack, before the planes hit it. He called the pulling of building number 7. I have that video on Forbidden Knowledge TV. We talked to the fire department and said, pull building 7. In construction terms, when you tell them to pull a building, that means controlled demolition. That means the buildings were pre-wired for demolition, controlled demolition, pre-wired. How many people in New York City knew they were going to work every day in buildings that already had controlled demolition built into the walls? They didn't know. But Silverstein knew. Larry Silverstein, who ordered Building 7 to be pulled and who made an incredible amount of money off of all those towers dropping. And before the towers fell, he already had a plan for the new World Trade Center and had it approved, by the way, the structure to be approved before 9/11 happened. That's all on my Forbidden Knowledge TV app. That video, that whole expose. And the reason why I'm going into 9/11, I'm showing you the depth that these people go to. And you know the people that I'm talking about. The depths that they go to control America and to profit off of America. Because according to them in their Torah, we're nothing to them. We are chattel. We are idolaters, and we deserve to be unalived. That's from their own mouth. That's not from my mouth. That's also in the Talmud. The Talmud also allows and approves them to commit pedophilia. I'm going to do a special Bible study with, maybe I'll do this one again with Paul Wallace, when I'll read the verses directly from the Talmud and I'll have it up on the screen at the same time. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Approved pedophilia. They can marry a baby at 3 years old. Yeah, and they can have sex with the baby as well. We're talking about a very dark, sinister group. Extremely dark. Very dark. That will go to any means to destroy, kill, maim, rob, whatever you say, whatever you think is a bad thing, they'll go to those, they'll do it. They have no restraint over anything outside of their own group. Their book tells them it's okay to rob people who are not in their group. Their book tells them it's okay to have sexual relations with babies. Their book tells them this. Their book tells them that we over here in the West, we don't deserve to be living. And their ultimate goal and their ultimate plan, if you wonder what it really is to take over America completely. They've already taken over the rap game. They've already taken over Hollywood. They've already taken over finance. They've already taken over the government. Now they're going to try to execute their final goal and their final plan within the next 20 years. And that is through organizations like BlackRock and others that they're dominating and they're inside of, to take over the entire country. This will be the new Israel. I'm just telling you. And then Trump every 5 minutes. China, 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 China. China don't give a damn about no damn United States. Somebody else does, though. Somebody else gives a damn about the United States. Somebody else wants to control the United States, and it ain't China. Somebody else has an enormous amount of blackmail against the United States, against sitting people in office right now today in the United, and former people that are still alive that left office. They have that footage. They have the audio. They have the intelligence. They have the top secret documents. And they also have the cells that have been sitting here for decades, trained people, and they still are moving people through sex trafficking kids, through this system, through people that are just like Epstein, but just not as visible. You'll never know They can sit next to you in a movie theater or on an airplane, and you wouldn't know you were sitting next to a large trafficker to the elites, moving kids back and forth, allowing elites to show up and do these pedophilia actions to these kids. You wouldn't even know because they're not in the limelight like that. But they're big. Some of them probably even bigger than Epstein was. So if you were ever wondering what this whole thing was about, it's a honeypot. The sex trafficking of these kids was simply to get blackmail, to take over an entire country, and maybe even countries, plural. Like I said in my previous podcast on this topic, if that list ever came out, it can affect the entire GDP of a full country. It can collapse an entire economy. They know this. They know it. Hell, it might even be the end of their form of democracy. They like to call it democracy, but it's really not democracy. Because we'd probably take to the streets and rip them to shreds for doing what they've done to our kids. That's why. So, ICE is also involved in human trafficking. A lot of these kids are being fed into the same system that's going through this Epstein circle. You think these kids are all getting deported back to their countries with their parents? Anytime somebody puts an $80 billion bonus, which is what the current bonus is for ICE right now from the US government, as ordered by Trump, $80 billion bonus for headhunters to go here and abduct people on the streets, to go and snatch children out of the womb, to go and snatch their parents and leave the kids on the street all alone. Don't you know that when those kids get put into CPS, they vanish? Miraculously, they're gone. What do you think they end up? They end up getting bent over by these elites in some room somewhere in some island or some random location, hidden away from the world. They end up getting taken advantage of. The whole thing is a big master plan. You snatch somebody off the street, you put them into a facility that's a privately owned facility that's on the stock market, that's making billions of dollars in revenue. And then you take the kids and you siphon them off into the sex trafficking ring. And they're so stupid here in America, these politicians, they're so stupid, they can't even get out of their own way and realize they're being set up. They're like these dumbass cops that go commit all these crimes with their cameras on. I mean, these people are dumb. They're idiots. They gotta do there needs to be an IQ test to get into these offices. Somebody needs to put an IQ test out there. They gotta put an IQ test. I mean, this is ridiculous. But they keep doing it. And they're doing it for peanuts. Oh, I got $100,000 from this guy under the table. $100,000 stinking dollars. Are you serious? You can go to sleep at night knowing that these kids are out here getting taken advantage of, and that our country's in danger from these sleeper cells because you put us in this position so you can get $100,000 stinking dollars. Are you crazy? There's no other way you can learn how to make money. There's 100 million ways to make money on these streets, and none of them include children and espionage. None of them include sleeper cells and three-letter agencies and Mossad and Israelis and Iran and all these players. It doesn't include that. You can make a lot of money without doing that. But no, these people are so dark and demented and evil that they get some type of a satisfaction off of doing that. See? They're all evil. Every president that I've grown up under has been evil. They can give you the illusion of being civil and nice and calm and poised and well-spoken like Obama. They're all evil. Every single one of them. I grew up under Nixon, evil. what's the peanut farmer's name? Forget the peanut farmer. I think he just passed away. He was evil. Then you had Ronald Reagan, evil. George Bush Sr., evil. Clinton, evil. George Bush Jr., evil. Obama, evil. I mean, I could just go down the list. They're all evil. Not one person did not allow themselves to acquiesce and commit atrocities against mankind. Not one of them. Jimmy Carter. Somebody said he wouldn't hurt a flea. Yeah, he wouldn't personally hurt a flea. Jimmy Carter, that's the peanut farmer. He wouldn't personally hurt a flea. But guess what? He backed wars into South America that killed women and children. Yeah. So you have to really begin to understand who and what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the ultimate evil, disguised as nice people, clean and well-spoken, can give speeches that move the crowd. Just sounds like a good pastor to me. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. You got to stop falling for the word salad. The word salad has destroyed us. Oh, look how eloquent he speaks. The reason why Kamala didn't make president, not that she would have made it anyway because she's not in the bloodline, but if we were in a real fair voting society, she would have never made it because she can't speak eloquently. Now, Trump didn't speak eloquently, but he spoke with force and power. So that made up for this lack of eloquence. But she just sounded like a complete dummy. And I'm not saying that she was. Look, that popped up on the screen on its own. It's just a reminder about this 13-year-old girl. I'm not saying that she was a dummy, but she just sounded like one. And that's the reason why she had no chance. We always fall for the people that have the power and the force or the eloquence. We don't look deeper into really who they truly are. It's all a theater. The whole thing is a big theater. And we're being entertained. Purely entertained. Thank you, Ashley Nicole. And thank you to the other donations I saw coming through. I didn't have a chance to stop and recognize you guys. I apologize for that, and I appreciate y'all so much. But, you know, this is just a topic that I'm a little fired up about because I've got 2 daughters. Okay? I have 2 daughters. Now, they're older now. My oldest daughter, I believe, is 34. My other daughter is 32. And they both have been through situations dealing with men when they were younger. And that affected them pretty much for life. For life. Getting taken advantage of in a bad situation affects you for life. So I can only imagine what these women are and were going through. And for us as a civilization to sit here and to allow this to continue to happen, shame on us. Shame on us. At some point, we have to do something. And I don't know what that something is, but sitting around and just talking about it ain't going to get it done. But these people need to pay. Whoever the hell they are, they need to pay. They should not be allowed to go live a full life and go to their graves with this information completely hidden as to what they did to these kids. It's an atrocity. And anybody that doesn't believe it's an atrocity is working for the government or Mossad. I wish I could run for office. And too bad presidents are selected, not elected. If they had a real voting system, I'd do it. Because the first thing I would do is take care of the real issues on this planet. And the real issues are child trafficking, sex trafficking, the central banking system, the group that's running all the interest rates and running the taxation and all that got to be torn down. Every single bit of it got to be torn down and rebuilt from scratch. They wouldn't like me. They'll send everybody at me. The whole world will be after me because I would destroy everything they built overnight. Overnight, it would be destroyed. And I will show them how they can make not even just the same amount of money, but even more in a happy and joyous society where people are happy and enthusiastic and loving and kind. And toxicity can be removed from our system. All these toxins in our food and microplastics and everything else. I'm over here today looking up a doggone detox for microplastics. Why in the world would I even have to do something like that in the 21st century? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. We have to find a way to unite as people on this planet. There's 8 billion of us. 300 million in America alone. At some point, we have to put an end to all this. And if that means shutting down the world, we just shut the world down. They turned the world off when they had the pandemic, the plandemic. They turned the whole planet off. And we just sat back and let them do it. Maybe we should turn the planet off now. Maybe we should turn off the planet. But we won't turn it back on until our terms are met. Like, give us these damn files and let's prosecute these people. I don't care who the hell they are. We got to get these sleeper cells out of the country because they're holding the government hostage. They spend all their energy and time worrying about dumb shit instead of finding these sleeper cells and eliminating them from the damn country. They spend all their energy working on ridiculous stuff. No energy worrying about taking care of the country so that people can live properly and that they don't get surprised and get their building destroyed one day when they go to work. They're worrying about dumb stuff like the price of eggs and I don't understand. I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. They're still talking about this the pyramid scheme of the Social Security. It's a pyramid scheme. Since I was a little tiny kid, they've been talking about the pyramid scheme of Social Security. And every year they talk about how it's going to probably go away because of Social Security if the pyramid scheme is collapsing. Spend that energy on some real stuff. The whole thing is just ridiculous. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Bottom line is, the experts say that the grand jury transcripts that are going to be coming out are going to also tell us absolutely nothing. There'll be no significant leads in the grand jury transcripts that have been ordered now. They're just trying to shut the world up from talking about this topic. They want us to shut the hell up. They want me to shut up and dribble like they told LeBron James. Just shut up and dribble. I remember a newscaster told him that one day when he was speaking up about something. Just shut up and dribble. We're not going to shut up and dribble. We're not. This information needs to come out. And I don't care how it happens, when it happens, something got to happen. From a man that has raised 2 girls, that when I wasn't looking for 1 second, had a situation happen. It's crazy. And that was unplanned. These people have plans to do this. It's wild. It's wild, man. But we have to be more vigilant. We have to unite as people on this planet. We have to stop fighting each other. Forget all this damn Democrat Republican bullshit. Stop it. Stop it. Forget about it. Forget about Democrat Republican. Forget about it. Stop fighting for garbage. Fight for humanity. Stop pledging allegiance to flags. Pledge allegiance to humanity. More importantly, the children. I was kicked out of my school, my junior high school, Norland Junior High. Back then it was called junior high when I was in school. I was kicked out of the school. Why? They said I was inciting a riot because I wouldn't pledge allegiance to the flag. I told the teacher, I'm not pledging my allegiance to a piece of cloth on a stick. I'm not doing that. I've been on this since I was a kid, man. She called me down to the office, inciting a riot. We're going to kick him out of the school, suspend him, and all this crazy stuff because I stood up in the class and gave them a history lesson. I don't pledge allegiance to flags. I pledge allegiance to humanity. Humanity supersedes a flag. Pledging allegiance to a flag will have you doing things that you never thought you'd do. If you don't believe me, ask the 22 former military officers that commit suicide every single day. Ask them. Well, you can't ask them because they're gone now. Right? So they've already unalived themselves. Pledging allegiance to a flag will have you get into a military plane, fly to another country, and kill somebody's parents, and justify it by saying you were given orders and you pledged allegiance. You took $1 million bomb and dropped it on a $5 tent so you can get a college degree. Come on, man. It's us doing this to us. Like I said in my previous podcast, these elites don't really have power. It's actually us that get the orders and we follow through on those orders that give them the power. When somebody says, groom these kids to one elite to another, that elite is not grooming the kids themselves. They have worker bees, average people that are doing the grooming part and setting up the trap. When a president of a country says, go over there and drop this bomb, the president doesn't even see the bomb. Poor, broke people like me and you get into an airplane or on a Navy vessel and sail across or fly across and then drop a bomb on people we don't even know because somebody told us to. Somebody said, hey, do that. And we, oh, yes, sir, I'm going to do that because I pledged allegiance. You see how stupid that is? It's dumb. And if you don't think it's dumb, then you're dumber than dumb. There's no hope for you if you don't think that's dumb. If I came up to you right now and said to you, I want you to go and to your next door neighbor and punch him in the face, you would be like, you want me to do what? You want me to go to my next door neighbor and punch him in the face? Why? Why would you say something like that? You would start questioning me immediately. You wouldn't be like, yes, sir, I'm going to do it right now. You'd be like, well, why? Well, first of all, why would you say that? And what does it mean? Are you joking? Are you serious? I'd be like, no, I'm serious. Go punch him in the face. Why? Don't worry about why. I'm telling you to do it. It needs to be done now. You ain't going to do that. So why, when this other person tells you, you just poop, yes, sir, and you run up, you can't wait. You're chomping at the bit. You're drooling to be able to do it. You haven't asked one damn question. We got to do better, man. We have to do better. We're failing. And we're letting a country the size of a damn peanut run the whole United States. We let a country the size of a peanut put sleeper cells weaving through our country like a web of destruction. At any moment's notice, anything can happen. And we're paying for it, by the way. This is all coming off of our taxes. We got to do better. We have to do better. The kids deserve, the children deserve better. The children deserve better. Anyway, guys, took up a lot of your time tonight. Thank you for hopping on the Forbidden Knowledge podcast. I remember one person didn't want me to drop the link to Turkey. I'm going to drop the links here in the live chat for you. There are links in the caption of this video. Some people do want to come to Turkey with me. That's going to be in September. It's going to be my birthday. I'd love to have you come hang out with me on my birthday in Turkey and have a great time exploring the ancient sites of Turkey. It's going to be a fantastic, fantastic tour. And we also have an amazing raffle going on right now, and this raffle is for Mercedes-Benz. But a portion of the funds, the majority actually go to help the children, the children in the Congo that are orphans right now, orphans because of the war and the atrocities going on in the Congo. So I dropped that link as well in the live chat. So you have the Turkey tour, and you also have the link to the raffle. We've given away 5 cars already. Something that we do. We give away a lot of cars here. It's a bonus for us. It's very easy to do. It's not as big as hard as you think it is. We just give away a lot of cars. We've given away Rolls Royces and everything. It's a way of generating traffic for our sites and brand recognition without giving all the money to Google. Google's already $1 billion company. They don't need my money. So I'd rather put that money into something I can give to somebody that's going to change their life. So we buy cars, we buy gifts and things like that. We give people nice stuff so they can experience something nice. Okay. And I'll drop the link to Egypt as well in case you want to come with Egypt to me. Next year we have an Egypt tour that's huge. It's selling out very fast. And I just dropped the link to Egypt in there as well. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Thank you for spending the time with me today on this Sunday evening. You could have been doing anything, but you chose us to hang in there. I got really frustrated, and I apologize for getting frustrated, but we're dealing with children here. We're dealing with grown men and women. Don't forget, on that list was also women taking advantage of children, and that cannot be accepted by any civilization on any planet. It just can't be accepted. It cannot be accepted. And the moment that we acquiesce to allowing that to continue, then we're just egregious as the people that are committing the acts of pedophilia themselves. Put yourself in the same category. We're going to have to find a solution to this, and we're going to have to put a stop to it. It has to come to an end. This can't continue to go on and on and on. Everything since Comet Pizza to the FBI agents that have former FBI agents that have come forward to talk about this, talk about the underground tunnels leading out of schools, these kids disappearing from CPS, the Epstein situation, the grooming going on at the highest levels. It's got to stop. And we're the only ones that can stop it. We can't allow this to continue. We just can't. All right. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all. All the links are in the caption of this video. If you want to go to Egypt, if you want to go to Turkey, if you want to enter the raffle to win the Mercedes and help children in the Congo, please click those links and help us out. It'd be phenomenal. I'd love to see you in Egypt, and I'd love to see you in Turkey for my birthday. It'll be a great birthday. We'll have a birthday party at Darren Kuyu underground, something that nobody does. All right. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
This is logged in on November 25th, 2023, Eastern Standard Time. Sensitive material has been breached, and it is now in front of the public. This is very sensitive documentation, and the world will be in total chaos if leaked, and it is now leaked. All of it. Not one document, all of it. Place of exploitation, forbidden knowledge television. This must be stopped.